Hello and welcome. Dramatic footage has been coming in from the hilly state of Himachal Pradesh, where pilgrims and tourists have been marooned. Reports have come now of hotels and houses having collapsed and rivers bursting its banks. There have also been reports of cars being tossed down by the torrents and the boulders coming as it is loosened at the top and falling down the hill. Now, the dramatic footage caught on camera by mobile phones of tourists and residents reveals the enormity of the situation on the ground. These are the footage that we are coming in from the various tourist spots in the Himachal area, and we can see how the flash floods they are coupled with the soil as well as the wood uprooted trees coming in, and they have the effect of a concrete, and they are literally damaging the foundations of various buildings in that area. It has been reported that several buildings have been damaged and some of them have been washed away by the torrents that are there. Let us in fact listen to the dramatic footage that is coming in from that area as well. This was an iconic bridge that was washed away in the area in Himachal Pradesh, and we can see how the water washed down the two sets of the foundation of that bridge. And here we can see, as I was earlier saying, uprooted trees mixed with the sludged water. We can see it flowing through the streets of the area, and this is the footage that we in fact see of how it travels through the streets in the hilly districts and how much of damage it is in fact causing. This has the density of a loosened concrete, and it has been a big problem that has been. These are the dramatic footage of boulders being loosened and falling down on the busy highways leading towards the state of Himachal Pradesh. It is, you can see in the background, several tourist buses that were in fact caught up. Here again, a dramatic footage of how a house that was located very close to the edges of the banks of that river. We can see how the water has been, and then we have this car that has been tossed completely like a tin can and brought downstream by the torrents. Car washed away, especially as it was parked next to some of the washed away areas of the roads that we can see. Here another house collapses as its foundation is washed away by the torrents in the hilly areas. Himachal Pradesh has also been receiving heavy rainfall, and these are the effects of that heavy rainfall, where the flash floods have been reported and the rivers coming downstream has seen the kind of dramatic situation unfolding, where the river waters are washing away the foundation of buildings, and you can see the building completely collapsing into the river, and this river flood in fact taking away the building downstream. This is another shocking video that has come to light from Himachal Pradesh, and this you can see the enormity, the complete enormity of how the river is flowing between the hills, the power at which it is at, and this wooden bridge completely taken away by the river. It stood no chance of any sort of an effort to survive it. It just got washed away by the raging torrents coming downstream from the hills, and this has resulted in several areas in Himachal Pradesh, especially connection between the hills, being completely affected. Many villages have been isolated and several tourists have been marooned as we speak. This is another dramatic footage of a complete collapse of a bridge that has been reported from Himachal Pradesh. You can see how the flood waters have been eroding at the foundations of these bridges, and they have come crashing down. This is a hotel that has been completely eroded, and you can see the flood waters pulling down on the foundation and the entire hotel collapsing into the river and being pulled by its raging torrents. Now, this is the situation that we see in Himachal Pradesh as we speak. This is the Water is rushing through the streets. Water is going through really familiar areas for tourists in Manali, Kulu, as well as in Mandi, and we can see the manner in which it is removing the foundations of most of the buildings. This is the shocking footage that we can see coming in from the area.
भाई खुश
जहाँ से अभी पानी चल रहा है।
Those damages that have been these are in fact the damages that have been reported from the Himachal area, especially when it comes to the water moving through that area, and we have seen how trees have been uprooted, and several incidents of trees falling onto vehicles have also been reported. And there we can see how the local drains are being also overwhelmed, and these are small rivulets that are seeing this huge flow of water from the hills. Some of these rivulets are in fact completely overwhelmed and burst its banks, and several areas along the area have been completely flooded is what we understand, and most of the time it is in the pilgrimage routes, as well as several temples have also been inundated because of the flash floods that have been reported from Himachal Pradesh. This is in fact a rescue operation that is being carried out by the NDRF, where they are trying to move in people who have been stuck in a particular area because of the rising flood waters, and the NDRF swung into action to get the stranded tourists to safety. So using the rope, they've been able to establish contact, and they have been able to rescue the people who are stranded because of the flood waters. And here again, incident coming in from Himachal Pradesh, where we can see that from one building to the other, we have the tourists using ladders to move from one building to the other because of the raging waters below. And here again, another dramatic visual. All of these visuals have been caught by the camera person there, as well as people on their mobile camera, to show the intensity of the flood ravaging through Himachal Pradesh. We can see the water flow itself is in fact pointing out towards how intense it. This is another road that has been washed away by the raging flood waters of the river. The road that in fact meanders through the river's route as well, and that has been completely washed away by the torrent coming through the place. And you can see how the road has been completely damaged by the raging river, and this has resulted in several areas being cut off from the areas that were close to the towns, and some of the villages have been completely stranded when it comes to the situation in Himachal. Well, another footage in fact shows how one of the towns has been completely flooded. You can see the water moving through the town and its streets. At the same time, a raging torrent next to the area, the bridge still standing, and these are visuals coming in, again latest visuals coming in, of how the river is in complete spate. Many of them are taking a look at the situation on the ground. There are bridges still standing, but there are temples that have been completely flooded when it comes to the situation at hand. And these are temples that have been also known to be on the tourist map, frequented by pilgrims and frequented by tourists as well. You can see the water pouring above the danger mark in these places and also flooding the entire area. So this is the situation that we are seeing in Himachal Pradesh, where flood waters have entered temples, stranded several tourists and also pilgrims. Many of the famous temples have also been flooded, as the fury of nature is seen in Himachal Pradesh. There has been heavy rainfall in the catchment areas, and the dams in the region have also been filled up, because of which they are being opened. It is expected that the flow of water in river Yamuna is also expected to increase downstream as well, because these dams have been opened. And here another rescue work being carried out in the night. This time the NDRF also involved in ensuring that stranded tourists are taken to safety. This is another visual that comes where a steel bridge is being repeatedly hit by the flood waters, and you can see the bridge being completely flooded. It cannot be used at all, and the flood waters flowing above the danger mark over here.
जहाँ से अभी पानी चल रहा है
Well, these are the situation that we see in Himachal Pradesh, the raging torrents going ahead, and we leave you with these visuals of the damage that we see in the area. The shocking part of how intense the rains have been, and how the calm rivers, streams and rivulets have now become raging torrents, bringing with it misery to the areas that have been known to be the best tourist spots in the world, and many of them still stuck. Authorities telling them to be at their places and not to venture out till the rains in fact calm down, and also the river flow in the water flow into the rivers also calm down. We leave you